Hey everybody, and welcome aboard the Pride of Baltimore 2. I'm Chief Mate Jeff Crosby here, and behind the camera is actually our bosun, David Stoles. And I'm going to give you guys a bit of a virtual deck tour here. We're currently in Annapolis, Maryland. We sailed down here yesterday, arrived, shot off some cannons at Annapolis, kind of made a bit of a splash. So right behind the camera currently is an often sought after piece on the deck, and that is the ship's wheel. Yes, the ship's wheel is what drives the boat. It is authentic. It's actually attached to what's called the worm gear, and that worm gear is attached to the rudder. And a very frequent question that we get is, why is the wheel on backwards? And the wheel is not on backwards. You actually stand on the side of it, you get a lot better visibility, because if David were to turn around again to get this viewpoint, there's these big old masts in the way. So the wheel is in fact not backwards, it's on the right way. There's this other kind of pedestal right in front of the wheel. Inside of that is our compass. So this whole unit is called a binnacle. And we like to keep it covered up so the sun doesn't actually deteriorate the compass. There's another small kind of box in front of that. That's where engine controls are. Of course, we do have engines to get on and off the dock. As you can see, there's some stuff kind of laying about on the deck. We're going to keep walking forward here. We've got some projects going on underway. As there are COVID restrictions in place, we're actually not allowing any people on board for deck tours. So we're using this opportunity to catch up on some much needed maintenance. As you can imagine, Pride being a wooden boat requires a lot of maintenance. So we've got Ryan here who's spreading out some paint over the port side. We have Nicole and Natalie here who are scraping off varnish off of our small boat chasseur. And they're going to sand that down, start to build up new coats of varnish. We have our small boat over the side to enable us to work on chasseur. Normally when we're voyaging, the small boat gets lifted up and actually placed on top of chasseur. There's actually one right behind David, and there's a couple more kind of scattered around the deck, but these are our cannons. They are 6-pound cannons with a 4-pound bore. They're relatively newer cannons. This is our second set of cannons for the Pride. These are actually aluminum cast cannons with stainless steel bores. We had a wonderful volunteer this winter actually rehab all of our cannon carriages, so they're looking very, very nice. Let's keep wandering up here, step over this gun. Seeing as we do a lot of ocean voyaging, we do have life rafts, one on either side. Typically, we have covers at the top of them, but we have 2 new covers that are currently being made, so they're kind of bare at the moment. If you look right behind David, we've got Liam who is going up aloft. So if you've been following our Coffee with the Captain series, you would know that we have recently replaced a lot of our GMDSS equipment. So it's kind of like communication equipment. In order to do that, we have to put a lot of new antennas up aloft. And so Liam is going and securing all of that wiring as it comes down the shrouds there. Moving further up forward, you can see a lot of different rope pieces. Most of these ropes right in here, or what we call lines on board, control our foresail, which right now is actually brailed up to the mast. So to set it, you just cast off those lines and the sail comes shooting down amidships. All of these lines up in front of the foremast actually control our square topsail. And those are the 2 yards that are sticking out up above us right there. So that pulls all of that sail up to that top yard there. Some other cool, interesting features on the deck of the Pride of Baltimore is this windlass. And this windlass is manual. So in order to use this windlass, we actually stick bars in the side, one on either side, and it cranks back and forth. It's probably one of the best ways to wake up early in the morning, is to haul back the anchor. Pride carries 2 anchors. We have our primary anchor here, which is the one that is attached with chain. This one weighs 700 pounds. On the starboard side, we have a bit smaller anchor. It's a 500-pound anchor, and that has the more traditional rope anchor rod attached to that. And then looking out beyond the bow of Pride, We have the bowsprit and jib boom, and there's actually 3 sails that are out there. It kind of looks like there's only 2, but there's a third sail that's tucked underneath the jib that is furled on top of the jib boom there. So that's a pretty quick deck tour, and that's normally what you would see if you were going to come down and see us here in Annapolis. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments and we will answer them. Thanks for joining us.